I took a few trades during the Asia session and one during London. 3 were solid winners, 2 not so much, but all of them were built off of the session volume profile. So let's break down how I identified these levels and use the visible range volume profile for confirmation. And hopefully you'll be able to use this information to help you in your trading. All right, let's dive into the charts. So 5 trades were taken total. 4 during the Asia session and 1 during London. 3 of them were wins, 2 were losses. Green in all of my accounts, up over a little over $5,000. So what I want to do is break down how I took these trades, how I found these levels. If you guys have been following any of my videos before, I talk a lot about visible range volume profile. So that's what these gray shaded areas are. I was looking for shorts today because we have this big area of resistance up here, but I was also looking for a retest towards that level. So that's why my first 2 trades were long. Looking at this value area low, point of control, and value area high, real quick, just to show you how I get those levels, I use the session volume profile indicator. You can also find it manually in TradingView. There's a tool over here called the fixed range volume profile, and you'll just drag that across from the New York open to the New York close. But I use the indicator just because it's a little bit quicker. So the session volume profile is the New York trading hours. So from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it tells you what the value area high is, the value area low, and the point of control. So I mark off those 3 levels with these pink lines that you see. And then I turn off the indicator just to make it a little bit cleaner on the chart and get it out of the way. So you can see those levels here. Value area low is often, if price is going to respect these levels, that's often a low because that's the agreed upon discounted price. So often in the Asia session, it'll respect these levels because volume during the New York session is so much higher than Asia, so the New York levels are going to be respected based on like stop losses and just basically where people are trading. So going back to my levels here, we have value area low here. There was also a high volume node right below it. So the market opened with a little bit of a gap down. You can see this was the opening candle and it shot down, and then it started to show that it was going to find support at this level. So I'll admit I did enter this trade a little bit early just because the risk to reward was really good. My thought was, if this is the low, put my stop loss there and just go for the gap fill and return to this resistance area. The risk to reward on that is good. So that was the reasoning for that trade. There's also other confluence for that being the target. If you look at this trend line break right here, that was going to be a retest of that trend line. So that's why I targeted that level. We opened with a gap down. I took a long to fill the gap plus a little bit more to retest the trend line and this resistance area there. And I'll show you real quick how I found that resistance area. I'll zoom out to the higher time frame. So looking at the 15-minute chart, and I turn on the visible range volume profile. So VRVP, that's another indicator that I use. It'll show the volume based on the price action, the trading that you have on the screen. So you can see if I zoom in or zoom out, this over here is going to change a little bit. So let it load. You can kind of see how it's changing as I shift the screen. But the reason that I was expecting that to be an area of resistance is you can see there was a lot of trading in that area, and it wasn't going to easily cut through that level. And you can see later as I show you my trades that this area definitely came into play heavily. So price likes to return to areas of high volume like that. That was another reason that that was a target on that first trade. All right, so kind of gave you some background context. The next couple of trades will be a little bit easier to explain. So that was the first trade. It was a win. Second trade, it was kind of a range play. This was the opening low for the Asia session. we still had that same support area and same value area low. So I was expecting it to either hold this level and go up or continue lower. So took along here since it seemed to be respecting that low, respecting this support area. Again, just returning back to this high volume node. I'll say it again, price likes to return to areas of high volume. This one, my target was a little bit higher because I was targeting, this was the previous Asia high for that session. So just targeting a return to that high. From there, I took a couple of losses. My trading plan for today was this high volume node, the gray shaded area that I showed you a couple minutes ago. That I wanted that to be, I didn't want it to be. I can't tell price what to do, but my thought was that was going to be resistance or the high point for the session. So value area high was also there, and it was at the top of this high volume node. So I took the trade twice, 2 losses, but I was planning on it rejecting value area high and coming back down to the bottom of this high volume node. It didn't work out. This second one, I took it again because it was starting to reject this trend line and ended up going higher and stopping me out. So that's when I went to bed, decided that that idea was no longer valid. When I woke up in the morning, I saw that this previous day high, you can see this was the previous day high over here. Huge like liquidity grab and then big drop down. So my game plan, my bias towards shorts was confirmed at that point because we rejected previous day highs super quickly, straight back down through my level. And then from there, you can see that this value area high and high volume node level, that was resistance for the rest of the session. That is why I took this trade during the London session, because it was constantly rejecting this value area high level from the New York trading session and sitting right at the top of this high volume node. So the risk to reward on this trade was good. A 3-to-1 risk to reward from value area high back down to value area low. Super clean trade. You can see that it just respected that level to the tick and then went straight back up from there. So those are the trades that I took during the Asia and London sessions. 5 total, 3 wins, 2 losses, up big green in all of the accounts. But it really was just based off of visible range volume profile for that higher time frame support and resistance to establish my bias, and then using the previous session volume profile with value area low, value area high, and point of control to help just play that range. So hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any questions or want me to expand on anything further, feel free to comment below. And also, there is a link to my Discord in the description below. I talked about my trading plan. I share my full trading plan with my Discord for free each day. So I mark off my levels. I tell you which levels I'm looking for, if I'm looking for longs or shorts. All of that is for free in my Discord. And then if you would like to support me in my journey with trading, use code Krista at any of the platforms listed up above: Tradeify, Funding Ticks, Lucid, Trade Day, the Futures Desk, and Apex. Those are some of the ones that I've traded with before and have had really good experiences with. So I appreciate it, you guys. Comment below and join our Discord. See you soon.